Having a baby during the COVID-19 pandemic has definitely been interesting. It's been challenging and a lot of a lot of uncertainty and a lot of different challenges, unique challenges. And that pretty much started right away.
January 2nd, my water broke in the middle of the night around 2:30 in the morning, 5 weeks early. And we got our stuff, made sure we had our N95s, and we made our way to Lidditz. Once we got there, it was make sure your masks are on, and we have to wait to get in a room, and just a lot of different things that probably wouldn't have happened a year and a half ago.
They went through some of the protocols, since her water broke, she wouldn't be able to leave at all, and that's without COVID. But with visitors, essentially only I was allowed in the room with her. If another family member would come and replace me, I wouldn't be able to come back at all. So it was either one person all the time or one and switch and you're done.
And if you wanted to drop something off, you could do that up at the main desk, and that was it. And if people wanted to come by, because we were there for a week, just until he decided to come on his own, they could come outside the window and wave, but there was no coming in. There was no seeing us or anything. It was FaceTime, FaceTime, FaceTime. When the nurses come in, they all had a mask on. They were covered fully. He would always have his mask on. And we were in the room, just him and I. We didn't have our masks on, but we didn't have to, keep them on all the time, especially me. But again, just being in those four walls for a week and not being able to even leave your room and walk the halls because of COVID was mentally very, very hard. I just really wanted to go home, but that wasn't an option. So, we played a lot of Uno, and he came on his own, and there was no visitors, but I am glad I could have my husband there, because I know at one point that wasn't an option either.
So on January 9th, he was born during a pandemic, during a COVID-19 pandemic, a respiratory illness. Hayden, being born several weeks early again, he was born essentially not breathing. He wasn't crying, which freaked us both out. It was a blur for both of us, but I think especially for you, going through that trauma and then just having him plopped on you and just him not really making any noise. Just what the heck is going on? After that 1 minute, he kind of made a little noise. He made a little cough, and that's where I kind of broke down, because thank goodness, he's at least alive. So then they whisked him away to the NICU where he stayed for 4 days.
So after Hayden's 4-day stay in the NICU, we were able to take him home. We were able to go back and forth to the house, and we scrubbed in when we got there, so we were able to touch him and see him. So then we got home, and that's when the real fun began. I was very, very stressed with the whole COVID pandemic and having a baby. I work in the dental field, so I was very, very high risk. So we got home, and I immediately typed up a paper to put on the door that said, here's the rules, and pretty much if you don't follow them, then you can't see our baby. And it's not to be mean, it's to protect him. We had very few visitors, and the visitors that did come from far away would just look in the window. But we would give them their own N95 mask with a bag with their name on it. We would take their temperature outside the door, give them hand sanitizer as soon as they come in, and they could literally sit on the other side of the room with their N95 on and look at him. Then over time, once he got a little bigger and got some vaccines that most babies get, there was a blanket that I knitted years ago that we would put over the company, which was just really our parents, and they could hold him that way, but there was no physical touching him, just to keep him safe. And it was definitely a rough patch, because you want to have your family come over and see their grandson or, you know, their nephew, and it's just not safe. It was not safe enough. And yeah, a lot of people would stop and bring us meals and wave through the window, and it was just definitely different than I'm sure a lot of other births of their first children or any child. And but you know, we made it work, and it's definitely, you know, we've lost some friends because they want to hold him, and I just can't do it.
We can't ask, you know, our parents or uncles, aunts, whatever, or older friends, you know, how did you deal with this? How did you deal with that? It's all kind of making up as you go, and better to be safe than sorry, for sure.
Now that people are getting vaccinated, we have, you know, calmed down on our rules for our baby. There's no temperature taking anymore, but I still have everybody use hand sanitizer like frequently while they're here. And you know, things are hopefully going to calm down even more in the next few months to come. And you know, we've been able to take Hayden on stroller rides outside and feel more comfortable. You know, people have been able to come and see him. We don't have the blanket anymore. He can just actually sit with them and feel their skin and see their, you know, their faces, and finally see Grammy's face, and just know people, not just their eyes anymore. So, you know, we're hopeful for more adventures to come for Hayden, and we're actually going to go to the beach tomorrow. So we have a good outlook on things, but we're definitely still keeping him safe, just until things are totally cleared of COVID.